The one thing I really do love about StreamYard is the way it splashes across the screen. You're live. So good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to another live stream. I'm Tony James. Thank you for being here today. And thank you to Suzie for my run things for joining us tonight. Good evening, Suzie.
Thank you for having me, Tony. I'm super excited.
Fantastic. As always, we're going to have a little bit of a conversation. And if you want to join in as well, please put your questions in the comments. Also, look at that. The screen's always the wrong way round. So I'm always pointing where the thing is on the computer, but it's on the other side that way.
My computer's right there.
So if you can just see the other side of Suzie, there's a comment box there. Please feel free. That's the one.
No, wait, where is it?
It's there. No, it's on the other side. No. So please say hello tonight and be part of this. And if you want to ask a question, if you could put #question, then that way we will see it in the comments, because sometimes you scroll through too quickly. So we need to get that. Hey, Ben is with us tonight. So good evening to Ben. You know Ben's channel, don't you, Suzie? You've probably seen Ben's channel.
Huge fan of Ben. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. He can't run for toffee, but he's a great channel. No, joking, Ben. We're all joking aside. Kim's with us from Denmark tonight. Andy is here as well from around the corner.
Kim.
So
I know everybody so far.
You know, I know when you drop onto these live streams, you're just looking at the list. You think, yeah, I know everybody. It's brilliant. When we dropped onto Chris's here we are running when he was doing his marathon the other day, I was looking at the live stream. Yeah, I know them. Yeah, I know them. Yeah, I know them. So I think, right. So if you guys have got a question for Suzie, please put it down there and we'll get through it tonight. So first of all, Suzie, as it says on your YouTube channel, you've only been running since 2016.
I am losing you. Can you see me, guys? I lost you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, now I got you. And now you're not pixelated. For a few seconds, you were pixelated.
Technology is brilliant. You know, we all used to do this on phones that sounded rubbish, but now we can do this live talking, because you're in America, I'm in the UK, and then my microphone drops out. That was the problem. So going back to it, the first question, you've only been running since 2016. What got you started?
So it really was a dare with my brother. He went to the doctor. The doctor told him, you need to lose weight. He went on a diet, and then he had those residual 10 pounds, and he said, I'm going to start running. And I thought he needed a push. So I told him, if you start running and you find a race and you sign up for a race, I'll run with you, not knowing anything about distances or nothing at all. So he did start running, and then he said, hey, I spotted this 10K that is run December 31st in Madrid, downtown, every single year. It's like super popular. It's like the New York City Marathon, because there's like 40,000 runners. My brother said, now you're going to have to put your money where your mouth is, and, support me and come running with me. So I said, okay. So I booked a plane. He signed me up. I booked a plane to be with him for Christmas. I came with my family, my son and my husband, and I ran that 10K, and then I continued running. My brother still runs, but he's not a runner like I am. Like, I got into half marathons. So he's more of a leisure runner than I am. I am more competitive than he is. So that's what got me. Really, it was a dare with him. It was like, I bet you will do this. I'll push you. You push me, and it was
a sibling's dare at the end of the day. A sibling's dare.
Yeah, he ran that one faster than me, but now I run faster than him. So,
are you going to share what your time was on that first 10K? Because I'll hold my hands up. My first 10K was 57 minutes. No, that was quite slow for me. But go on.
I got a fantastic number, because it was 1 hour and 11 minutes, and then like a few seconds. So it was great. 1-1-1.
For your first run, that is fantastic. Brilliant. So, well, before we move on, Suzie, Ben's been back in. He says, it's no joke there, Tony. You're bang on, mate. I can't run. So thank you. Yeah. He's a nutter.
He doesn't know me.
He doesn't know me. Well, Running Sam, he's got a channel as well, Suzie. So you need to go and find Running Sam's channel. Give him a sub, and I'm sure he'll give you a sub back. Chris from the
Chris.
Running Guy, he's with us tonight as well. Ben says Suzie is his fave. Oh, bless.
Oh, you're my fave too. Ben's awesome.
It's going silly now. Ben's also noted that the Running Guy is here, so he said granddad's about, which is strange because Chris is actually younger than me. Right, and the Running Geek girl is here as well with the Hi Suzie. Fantastic.
Hi.
So thank you everyone for turning up tonight. As I say, if you have got any questions for either of us, please just put them in the comments there. So you ran that 1 hour 11 and you decided to carry on running. What was the inspiration to carry on? Why did you decide, oh, I like this, I'm going to carry on?
I thought it was a lot of fun, just the training for that 10K. I had so much fun. I think that dare came at the right time in my life. We were selling our house, we were moving, I started a new job, I was super stressed, and I needed that me time that just running on your own gives you. So I was like, okay, Saturdays and Sundays I'm gonna go out and run. And so I thought it was a great experience. I had fun running the race, I had fun training for it. So I just said, I'm gonna give a half marathon a try. So I ran my first half marathon.
And when was that?
And then I said, I'm going to try and run a marathon. So then I ran a marathon. It was kind of one thing led to the next. To me, it was like, I think I needed something competitive to do for myself, not to compete with anybody else, just something that I could do just to challenge myself and just, I don't know, just to take care of me because of me. It's not anything that has to do with anybody else, with taking care of anybody else. So,
well, that's the thing about running. It's not it's there for physically looking after you, physically looking after the body, making you fitter, and that's one of the things that's been said to me numerous of times. Because as you know, I broke my shoulder at the beginning of the year, and every time I've been to the hospital, the doctors and the consultants keep saying to me, "Oh, you're fit. You're going to be fine. You're going to recover. Okay. You're fit. You're fit. You're fit." So obviously, running, you are looking after your body physically, but the other side is the mental side of it. And as you quite rightly said, even though I can't say it, it's that me time. It helps your mental health, doesn't it? It gives you time to think, time to focus, or take it the other way, just zone out whilst running. Right,
and you can make it social. If you want to make it social, you can run on your own. There's nothing you need to run other than your running shoes. Like even if you travel, like sometimes, not now with COVID, but for work, I used to travel quite a bit. You just bring put your sneakers in the suitcase, and then you can just go for a run anywhere you are. So it's so easy just to do it.
It is indeed. And as you say, well, people keep telling me this, and I said it to my wife and she just burst out laughing. People tell me running is a cheap sport. He said, looking at the spare room that I'm in and all the shoe boxes in the corner, and there's over £1,000 worth of shoes there. So yeah, it is a cheap sport. I'm not mentioning the £200 watch I've got on for GPS tracking or anything like that. So yeah, it is a fairly cheap sport to do, isn't it, Suzie?
It could get expensive once you get serious about training.
Yeah.
Like my husband keeps saying this weekend, I was like, I need new shoes. And he's like, again? I'm like, well, they only last like 400 miles. And he's like, you haven't run 400 miles. I'm like, yes, I have. Like, I count them. So I know. He loses count, he doesn't know. I can't hear you now. I lost you.
It's shocking. The mic keeps muting itself, so I might go on to the internal microphone in a minute. You can hear me now, though, can't you, Suzie?
Yes, now I can. Yes.
I've totally lost my strain of. Oh, that was it. Mine do back up quite quickly, because even if you're just running for leisure and doing 3 or 4 runs a week, you're still up to 35 miles a week. So the turnaround on the trainers can be quite quickly, especially if you're running in some of those nights that last 100 miles or so.
Yeah, I tend to I'm curious, what shoes do you run on right now?
What day is it? No, I honestly, it is a case of I rotate my shoes on how I'm feeling. But the one pair of shoes that's my go-to shoes at the moment, and I've put 300 miles on these since October, is the Reebok Symmetros.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's $100 shoe, which Reebok and Adidas never pay full price. They're always on discount somewhere, aren't they? So I picked it up for about £75, and I just put them on, and they're just lovely to wear. They fit well, and the cushioning is brilliant. There's no carbon plates in them or anything like that. It's just a nice daily shoe. And as I say, since October, I put 300 miles on those. So that's my go-to shoe. What about yourself?
Right now, I am enjoying my launch, my Brooks launch, and I have owned the 5s, the 6s, the 7s, and now the 8s. So, yeah, I have a weird thing with shoes. I get comfortable in like these brand, and then I don't change it. Like I run in that same, I rotate that model forever and ever, and then I change to another one. So last year, for example, I was in love with my Adidas Boston. So I had the Boston 7s and the Boston 8s. So, or the 8s and the 9s, I think. So, you know, it was like, okay, I like these shoes. I'm going to buy the new model and just keep running on them. So that's
what they want you to do in the end, isn't it? Buy 1 or 2 pairs of the same to keep going.
I think so, yeah.
As I say, I'm in to my Reeboks for my everyday shoes. That's the ones I seem to like. I've just picked up a second-hand pair of Fuel Cell TCs, carbon-plated ones, and I'm absolutely amazed how good they are, especially when they only cost me £20. So what was that, about $15 for a second-hand pair? There's only about 50 miles on them as well, so it's really good buy. They're a fantastic shoe. My 5K, my 10K, and my half marathon PBs are currently held by Pegasus Turbo 2s. But I think that's going to change because I've now got my Adizero Pros.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to getting those out into competitive when we can get back to running. That'll be brilliant. Kim, thank you very much indeed. Remember to give this video a like. Yes, everybody, if you could go and give it a like, that would be great. Running Sam has come up with a comment. Running is not cheap sport. What else we got? It's as expensive as you want to make it. Yeah, we've got a discussion going on about how cheap it is. Running is only cheap until you actually do it. I like that one.
That is so true, Heather. Yeah.
Running Sam, it's this. He's on about being a shoe addict. Yeah, if you go on Ben's channel, he's lots about shoes. We could be here all week if we get onto shoes. Well, we'll be here. You'll use them all at some point. Yeah, I rotate all my shoes, as I say. Right, so we're getting off onto shoes now, and this isn't a talk about shoes tonight. Why does it always go back to shoes? Does this happen when you're out running with other people?
The most important thing.
Does it always go back to shoes?
It always goes back to shoes.
Fantastic. Right, okay, so we've got your early days. You say you've run the half marathon. What is your best time at the moment, based on when we were last competitive?
In a race, I have a 2:09, but that's like from last year. So with COVID, I've been doing a lot of running just because I don't have to commute to work. I have a lot more spare time.
Yep.
There's no, going out at Saturday night, having late dinners and then a couple of beers. So now I can wake up early on Sundays, and I'm doing a lot more running than I was doing. So my times have improved a lot in the last even 6 months. So my best half marathon is 2:09, but just training, I've done 2:02. So,
all right, it's looking good, getting better. It's the consistency, isn't it?
So it's the consistency. Yes, the more you run, the better, the more efficient you get. So
yeah, the one thing I've missed since lockdown, and it's been over a year now since my last competitive race. That was it would have been a year ago yesterday. 15th of March was my last competitive race. I've been doing okay. My times have been good. I've been doing all right, but it's lacked that last 1%, the competitive bit. When you're out on the run, there's a person in front of you and you think, right, I'm going to run them down, and then you pick on the next one. I'm missing that competitive side of it. I'm missing the buzz, being in the pen together, the excitement, hopefully we can get back to that soon, but that's what I'm missing in my running at the moment.
There's something to be said for, being with other people, running with other people, and just knowing that you're on the clock. I think you push yourself more when you are running with someone else, like you're going against, even though you're only running against yourself, there's other people, like you said, just passing them, having them pass you, that competitiveness certainly makes you, want to get faster. So
Cool. So I had another quote there. Susie's out killing the PBs lately, which is good.
Yeah, I've been trying.
Right. So just to fill us in, have you actually run a competitive marathon?
Yes, I have.
And where
So
was that?
I have run 2 marathons. The first one I did 5 hours 23. I hit the wall, and I walked the last. Let me think about this. I walked the last 12 kilometers. So the last 7 miles I walked because I hit the wall. I barely crossed that finish line. It was, yeah. And then I did Marine Corps Marathon. It was a very hot marathon that year. And there wasn't enough water in the water stations. They ran out of water. So because it was super hot. So people were grabbing 2 cups at a time. And yeah, they ran out of water on mile 17, I want to say. So after that, I didn't drink water again until like mile 23. So right before the end. Yeah, it was so hard. And then after that, I ran Philadelphia Marathon 1 year later, and I did 4 hours 57.
Yep.
And now recently on the treadmill, I've done 2 back-to-back. So the first one I did 2 weeks ago. I did 4 hours 38. And then this weekend, just Sunday, I did 4 hours 27. So
fantastic. So it's all coming together nicely, isn't it? Those times are falling as the consistency kicks in there. What do you think about treadmill running? It's like Marmite, some people like it, some people don't. I know Chris, the running guy, every time I mention the treadmill, he goes, oh, at me. It's not for him, but I like the treadmill. What about yourself? Do you think it's a good training tool? Is it something good to have in the arsenal to rotate round?
I think it's great because you can tell that, at least I can tell, when you're running outside and running on the treadmill, you're using your muscles differently. The treadmill absorbs your steps, I think, a lot more. So I think if you're going to do a lot of running, doing a little bit of running on the treadmill is probably wise because the impact on your legs, on your joints is a lot less when you're on the treadmill. I do think it's not for everybody because it's a complete grind. You're not turning left, turning right. You're going on a straight line all the time. It's the same movement over and over. Even if you change the incline on the treadmill, it's just a straight line. So all you see is what you have in front of you. So it is not for everybody, but I think it's wise if you're going to do more than 35 miles a week. I think do something on the treadmill if you have the opportunity, because you can up your running. That's what happened to me since we purchased the treadmill. I've been doing a lot more running because now there's no excuse. Like some days I work 11, 12 hours a day. So I don't have any excuse at all to just not put my run in. It's like, okay, my treadmill is downstairs in the basement, so I just get it done. So
I know myself on Sunday, I opened the curtains, looked outside, saw it absolutely throwing it down and the gale force winds and thought, yep, treadmill. So the thing for me with the treadmill, I don't mind the treadmill. I've done 3 hours. A couple of years ago, I did 3 hours on it. Lovely smell in the house afterwards from all the rubber and the burning bits. But, it was great. But Zwift, it's a game changer for me. It is such a game changer.
Yeah.
So you enjoyed the Zwift? Yeah, come on.
It's such a gamified experience. Like, I don't know what it is that you see your avatar running with other avatars. It's like, it's completely fake, but you get so motivated. Like when you pass someone, it's like, oh my God, like you get that. It's not like real life, but it's, it's the next best thing. So, and you can make it very social too. I mean, there's groups on Facebook. I belong to a couple of them. I don't know if you are like a member of the long distance runners on Facebook.
No, but I'll have a look at it.
Okay, it's Zwift long distance runners. There's like 6,000 members. And those, I mean, we meet each other. Like we actually agree to meet like at 2 p.m. Saturday or, whatever, like people pop in and say, I'm about to jump in. If someone wants to run with me, I'm going to be in Watopia. I'm going to do laps. And, it's so social if you want to make it social. So.
I must admit, it has been the game changer for me. Instead of just staring at the wall as you're running, to actually see the avatar and see the places, I was buzzing for days, and I was telling everyone I've just been for a run around Innsbruck. It's just weird, but it's so. And they call it a game themselves. If you go and read the help guides, they say this multiplayer game, so they class it as a game. But no, I think it's a great aid just to break the mind up a bit as you're running, and just. I went running around London on Sunday, so I was running past all the landmarks you run around on the marathon. So yeah, I've been down there. I used to work there. So yeah, it's if you've got a treadmill, go and get Zwift. $37.99 for the foot pod here in the UK. Well worth it, and it's currently free for runners, isn't it, Susie? Let's fingers crossed it's going to stay that way.
I think at some point they're going to want to make a profit out of it, add more features, just like they do for cyclists.
Yeah, don't tell them. Let the cyclists pay.
I hope no one's listening, no one who works at Zwift, but I would totally pay for it because
yeah, it is good.
Now I can't live without. So I'm hoped.
Well, that's what Heather's saying. I prefer to go outside. We all prefer to go outside, but I do think the treadmill has its place, especially with recovery. As you say, less impacts, less pressure on the joints. So if you're coming back from recovery, the treadmill can be a really good way just to get you back and eased into it. So, yeah, music and podcast, that's one way of doing it.
Yep.
Let's go. Nathan, definitely seen as a treadmill over here for me. However, there are certain times I'd love one over the winter. Yeah. The reason I got a treadmill, and this is totally financial, is both myself and the wife were going to paying gym memberships. $30 about $30 a month for gym membership, so $60 between us. And we got to the point that we realized anytime we go to the gym, all we were doing was going on the treadmill. So so the membership renewal came up, and they're wanting £700 for 2 memberships for the year. So we've spent $300 on the treadmill, and it's been worth it ever since for us. So yeah, it's definitely one to look at. Who else is with us? Rossa Runs is with us.
Hi, Brian.
Just in before goes off for a run, so welcome along. Chris is with
Brian
us. Here we are running
the treadmill.
Soft lad. So Chris is with us tonight. Good evening, Chris. Sub 4 hours on the treadmill, wasn't it, on Saturday for Chris? That was some going.
3:53.
3:53.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
No,
he just killed it.
And I think we could say that isn't a PB, it's a BP. It's a Ben Parks, because he was talking all the way through it and he made it look easy. So, as Ben's always on his GoPro at marathons, Chris was talking all the way through his on his treadmill. So we'll give him a BP for that. So well done. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, he did awesome.
Oh,
oh my God, I have used a non-motorized treadmill. They are awful because they're so hard. Like you need to get, you work so hard on them.
I think I had one for a week and then thought, no, that went. So no, I'd stay away from them if you can. Look at that. Chris is watching and he's on Zwift at the moment. He's on the treadmill again. Well, I never. What else we got? I run my days on feet.
I didn't know that. I thought you didn't like the treadmill at all, Brian.
Well, there you go. You've got something new from him. Something new from him. Yeah. So that's it. If any of you guys have got any questions for Suzie, I know she's all over social media and you're speaking to her day in, day out. But if you do have a question for her, please ask away. So we've established that you've run a few marathons. So what's taking you from those marathons to specifically eyeing Boston Marathon?
I think it's so that's a really good question. I am very competitive, and I just thought it was, at first I thought it's something that scares me. So I just went for it. I just thought maybe I can give it a try. I know people who have qualified for Boston having 1 hour to go, to get faster. So it's not a question of, I think I can do it. It was more like, this really scares me. It's really the ultimate goal for runners, I think. I mean, for some people, it might be an ultra, like, I don't know, UTMB or something like that. But to me, that was my ultimate. It's like, if I could run Boston, that would just be a dream come true. Because it's only like really the top 10 percentile runners that get to qualify for Boston. So I thought it was really, again, scary, but the right amount of scary. Like, okay, maybe, if I don't get to qualify, at least I attempted to do it. Like, at least I tried. I gave it my all. So
you've set yourself that target. You've not put it too far out of reach. It is achievable, but it's just making those little steps each time to get closer to it. What time are we looking at for yourself? What's the qualifying time you're aiming for?
3:50.
3:50.
If they don't change it, it's 3 hours 50. So right now, I just did 3:20. I just did 4:27 this weekend. So I still have 37 minutes to go. So yeah. That's
a minute and a quarter per mile. You've just got to knock off your pace. It doesn't sound that hard when you say it that way. So you're going to get there.
It's just a question of, trying. So I have my eyes on a real life marathon in September, and that marathon is called Chasing the Unicorn Marathon, because it's on the last weekend before they cut off to send your time to Boston. So a lot of people use it to qualify. It's completely flat, and I figured that's going to give me the break. Like, I'm going to see other people doing the same thing. I'm going to try to run super fast. The course closes at 5 hours. So it's not even open. If you don't run it in 5 hours, they take everything. There's no food at the end, no water. No finish line, no medal.
Well, that's not very nice, being no medal. So, as you know, my goal is similar to you. It's Boston that is the one race I'm aiming for. The thought of doing ultras, that's on the cards. That's further down the line, but I want to concentrate on the road marathons at the moment. I've got London ticked off. I've got Berlin ticked off. And the others are the majors. No problems at all. The ballots are quite good. You got a chance to get in. But Boston is the one you just cannot get into unless you've got that qualifying time. And every time I look at it for myself, aged 53, I've got to do a 3 hour 20.
Oh, wow.
I'm at 3:47 at the moment, so I'm getting closer, but I'm aiming for that 3:20. It's even worse for London.
27 minutes.
Yeah, piece of cake.
A piece of cake.
Again, it's a minute a mile quicker. That's all I've got to do. It's only a minute a mile quicker. So we'll get there. We'll get there with the dedication, with the commitment, with the consistency. We will get there, and hopefully, within the next few years, I'll see you on the start line, and we'll go for a drink afterwards.
We can
at
actually
Boston.
meet at Boston.
Yes. But I had a look at the London.
Running?
How long have I been running? I was a good runner up until the age of 16. Then I left school and didn't run again until I was 51. So I started in 2018, April 2018, sat and watched the London Marathon and thought, for the 38th time, I want to run that. Because every year I've said I want to run the London Marathon and then never did anything. But back in 2018, something just resonated and I want to do it. So obviously I'm waiting for the ballot, and nobody ever gets the ballot, allegedly. So I got a charity place. I managed to convince a charity that wanted to run for them, which is the Mental Health Foundation. So that was my shirt from the London Marathon. So I ran for charity. But that changed my life with just the mindset change was I need to do this and I want to do it. And that's changed my life. And I've been running 5-6 days every week since, apart from when injured, obviously, and being a runner, that's quite often. So that's what got me going. But that Boston qualifying time is the ultimate for me. But as I was just saying, the London Marathon, I had a look at the good for age places because I don't want to go through the ballot again. I want good for age place. And for 53, the good for age time is 3 hours 15. So it's even quicker than Boston.
It's the same with New York City Marathon. I think for you want to qualify, if you're going to get your time through qualifying time, it's like, for my age, I think it's 3:20 or something like that. So it's just, I mean, you have to be almost elite to get your spot.
Okay, just got a few more. I think we've got a couple of questions as well. So yeah, he does hate the treadmill. It's just there for ease and timing. So yeah, that's not hating if you're doing it. You're not hating it, so that's all right. Nathan's asked a question, I think, for both of you. Other than Boston, what would be your dream marathon to race? So go on, Suzie. What would be the dream apart from Boston?
New York City. I want to run it so bad. I have a bib. So because I did the 9+1 program, which is for people who are local to New York, you sign up for 9 races with the New York Runners.
Yeah.
But I already got an email saying that I had my guaranteed bid, but they were going to allow me to pick in between 2021, 2022, or 2023. So I'll run it, but I just don't know. I don't know when.
I know my friend Mark has got a place in this year's New York's marathon, and he was really happy the other day when Boston said they're going ahead, because is it 2 weeks before New York, the Boston Marathon this year, something like that?
They're all the majors are like within like 6 weeks, I think.
42 days, I think it is, from the first to the last.
Yeah, it's like, they're like, you can knock them off.
Was it Chicago you run on a Sunday, and Boston you run the following day on the Monday? So if you're doing both of those, that's going to be an interesting 24 hours.
Yeah, you have to fly that night. Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
So yeah, Nathan's question there, what would be your dream race? I just want to do the majors. I just want to do all 6 majors and get that 6-star medal, which I think is gorgeous. So that's my ultimate A. It's not a big specific race. It's massive. I saw a guy wearing one in London. Beautiful. So yeah, that's my ultimate marathon, is just to run all those majors. So good question. Thank you very much indeed. Which is the most iconic of the current city marathons, you would say?
Oh, there are plenty of them.
The majors are all iconic, aren't they? In their way, you know, London's the biggest charity event. 50,000 runners they're talking about this year for the marathon. I've deferred my place till next year, so I'm running it in April 2022. So Berlin
people
is
say really good
city.
Things about Chicago. Like people who ran Chicago, Boston, and New York City really like Chicago. So,
and if you watch Kafuzi's videos, then you're going to fall in love with Chicago. I think it's such a lovely place to run, especially in the snow. So, there are some iconic ones there. Okay, thank you for the question. We've got another one. Oh, that's an interesting question from Andy. Do you ever run to heart rate when training? Asking for myself and my wife as we run together.
My heart rate. So I have an extra systolic beat, which is benign, but it throws off the heart rate monitors. So it's not there all the times, but when it kicks in, I have 5 beats instead of the normal. So every 4, I have an extra 5th. And that throws off the monitors. So I have, but I just don't know that it is real, because sometimes that 5th beat puts me like 185 and I can talk fine. And so I just think it's not realistic for me. So
it's an interesting question though, because he says there he's running with Helen, and her heart rate is always about 20 BPM higher than his. I'm going to put my neck out on the limb and say that's possibly a natural thing, because when I'm out running with my wife, who's only a beginner, she's doing couch to 5K, but her heart rate is always higher than mine as well, even if we're running at the same pace. So I think that there could be something in that, but I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't say anymore.
It's possible the size matters. You know, like your body size.
Yeah,
matters.
I think
like babies have much faster heart rates than adults. So the older you get, the slower your heart goes. So
that's a good point.
But I think it's not only age; it's also the size of your body.
Okay, Ben's come back. He's been over because Dan released a video about Trailwind. So and
I missed that. I really wanted to watch that video. I love Tailwind.
We'll catch up with it. What did I miss? I think you might have missed Chris talking about a personal best at some point. I don't know. You might have missed something else. What else has Ben said? I have run all the majors in my mind. Well done, Ben. You should get your stars for that.
Visualizing is important too, you know.
It is. I must admit, before I did London, I used to live in London. I lived there for 3 years, so I knew most of the routes. So before I actually ran the course itself, when I was on the treadmill, I was actually thinking about running down past Buckingham Palace and what have you. So yeah, visualizations are a fantastic tool to help you push through, especially as you say, Susie. And I don't care what anybody says, everybody hits a form of the wall around that 19, 20 miles.
Yeah,
it might not affect people the same. But that's the point where the body's run out of fuel, and everybody hits that low, no matter who they are, no matter how elite they are. I reckon even Kipchoge and those elites are probably still hitting some form of, it is the wall.
Yeah,
it is the wall. Your body is depleted, and then for some reason, when you get to mile 21, you pick yourself up again. So it must just be a temporary thing. But the visualization can help you get through hitting that wall as well. So yeah. Okay, what else we got? Andy says, thank you, Susie, for the answer. So well done.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, Chris is always talking about PBs. That's all
because he's PBing all the time. But, you know, at some point or another, you stop PBing.
I must
right? PB all the time.
I like watching, and I will encourage anybody to go for PBs. But on my training, I've actually gone the other way now. To run faster, you run slower. So I've gone to doing a lot more slow running, and then just doing one session a week starting this week to the hard stuff. The guy was trying to explain to me this on a plane as we're flying out to Berlin, that his marathon times have improved significantly because he has started to run slower. So I'm exploring that this year. So let's see if that works. Aerobic fitness affects heart rate. So there you go. Of
course, yeah. The more fit you are, the slower your heart rate goes.
Right, I'm just looking at the time because I know you've got another appointment that you have to get to in a short while.
We still have about 15 minutes. Yep.
Yep. So before we go any further, there's been an incident here in the UK, female safety. So I'd just like to bring into that. And I know Heather released a video earlier today, didn't she, about this? Was it Heather?
Yeah, it was a really good video.
Yeah, I watched that myself. So really, I'll ask you as a woman, do you think about safety when you're out, and what do you do to help yourself just in case there's any problems?
I do think about safety actually when I'm running outside. I don't know if that's something that men worry about, but it's always it's always in my mind, really. So much so that at one point, maybe 2 years ago, I was running on a path, and there was no one coming. And there was a guy coming towards me, and he was walking, and there was something in his demeanor that he seemed like he was out of place, like he was not wearing the right shoes to be on a trail. And so I tried to avoid him. I went kind of towards the right of the path, and he was on the left. And instead of him trying to, he could have noticed, okay, she's trying to avoid me, I'm also going to try to avoid her. He took over the center of the path. So he was walking more in the middle. Honestly, I almost kicked him right there. Yeah. Because I just did I was like, he's going to do something to me, I'm just going to kick him before he kicks me. So it turns out there was a pothole, a paddle. So he was trying to avoid the paddle, but he was so focused on his face and how threatened I felt. I was like, I'm going to hit him before he hits me. Poor guy. He probably thought I was crazy. But yeah, it's something I think about a lot. When I run, I always say hello to other people because, if there's someone walking with a dog or something, I always say hi. And I try to be smiley and nice because I always think if something happens to me and my husband, my son, the police, someone's looking for me, they can ask this person just saw me and remember I was there. This woman, she was wearing this, it's easier for people to remember you when you say hello. But I know a lot of women who run armed, they carry a gun here in the States. I know men who carry a gun. Yeah. They even sell, the belts with space to put small gun, with the, your ammunition and everything. So, yeah.
That's just something that would never occur to somebody in the UK.
I know. I've run in Spain, where I'm from Spain, and it's just never. But I have to say, when I run here, there's something about, I don't know why. When I've run in Madrid, like at 11 at night, for example, it's dark, but I've never felt scared.
Yeah.
But when I run here, even if it's in the middle of the day, there's that sense of like, and I don't know why that is, but there's that sense of, I don't know, it's like butterflies in your stomach.
Your spidey sense is tingling.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but there's this one traffic light in my neighborhood that if I get caught up in that traffic light in the summertime when I'm wearing shorts, someone either hits the horn, rolls the window down, says something. It's like, why? What? And like, whatever you think, keep it to yourself. Don't tell me anything. Just don't, like, why do you feel the need to say something to me? So, and you're approaching the street light and it's always like, okay, oh my God, it's red. I'm going to have to stop. So, yeah, it's just, it makes you uncomfortable.
So excuse me. Have you got any top tips then for safety? No, what's your tips? What do you do to keep safe?
I think being aware of where you are is always important. Knowing, you know, even when you're training, I always think that, again, this is because I am a woman, but when I am running, I always, from time to time, I check with myself, like, could I outrun someone? This is what goes through my mind. Like, okay, if someone were to like try to grab me, could I actually outrun that person? And I think I could have outrun a few people, not everybody, but so I never run like all out on a trail. I never am so much like exhausted that I could not just, you know, outrun someone. So I am aware of my surroundings. I never wear my headphones. I always wear like music on my phone, but I just play it because I want to hear if someone is approaching me. And so, I have to say, other than just be aware, tell people where you're going.
I think that's a big one.
People text you, you know, like my husband, if I'm out and I say I'm going to come back in 3 hours and I'm not back in like 2:45, he texts me like, where are you? Yeah, like he keeps track of where I am, and I tell him I'm 20 minutes away. Like I always like telling him where I am. So,
my wife always asks me how long I'm going to be or how far am I going. So I, give her the usual spiel. I'm just going out for a quick run. Oh, so you're going to be an hour then? So, so yeah, it's keeping in touch with somebody, letting them know where you are. I've also got the Strava Summit. You know, I've paid for the summit, and I think the beacon on there is fantastic. So every time I go out for a run, click the beacon, so my wife can actually follow where I am. So, which was quite good when I broke my arm. I could phone up and say I'm at such and such, and she could zero in and come and pick me up, which is brilliant for that. And the other thing you touch on is music and headphones. Yeah, I know people really love to listen to the music and they really love to get into it. And the same with audiobooks, really getting into it. But you do have to be aware of your surroundings, not just for safety from being attacked, but safety from cars and other pedestrians and stuff. That's why I wear aftershocks, you know, because the bone conductors are at the front of the ear, so I can hear everything that's going round, which I think is a really good invention. And the new AirPods as well, they've got a ambient mode, haven't they, or something? So you can So again,
and
you
animals
need to be aware
as well. You know, there's like where I run when I go on the trails. I mean, it's trails where there's people. It's not never like completely, you know, like I see people. But you never know if there's going to be an animal that's, you know, may jump at you. So.
Oh, that's true. You've got there's a lot of scary animals in America, which is, I think there's only one poisonous one in the UK, and that's the adder snake. So you don't see them very often.
There's snakes here too. Yeah.
Or bears. So yeah, the other thing is, and I know it's quite hard at the moment here in the UK, but it really, if you're going out, is to buddy up with somebody. So there's always safety in numbers, isn't there? So there's at least two of you together, then that's a bit better. But I will just say, and I'll put a link in at the bottom of this video afterwards, that Heather's video that she posted earlier today is really good advice. So we'll put in a link to that for Heather's video on keeping safe.
I think there's also, she brings a good point in that on that video. She talks about how men can help. I think my son is 17 years old, and I always tell him, you know, you're a boy, you have to worry about your being safe, but girls have to worry about being safe in a different way. So if you ever have a female friend who needs, to get home, that, she asks you to get her home and like, because she needs to be safe, just pay attention, be mindful of that, like help, just pay attention to the female in your life or in your surroundings so that you keep an eye out for them too. Because I think that's important.
Exactly. Ben says Heather is Wonder Woman in disguise.
She is.
I'm just saying, you never see me and Wonder Woman in the same room. Fantastic. What else has been said while we've been chatting away? Try and make yourself look crazy, and that will scare other people away. I do it all the time, and it works well. Wonder why I don't have any friends. It's that's a jokey comment, but it's actually quite a good comment, because take the crazy side of it away and put the word confidence in there instead. If you look confident, you make yourself look less a target. So, okay, it's a jokey comment, Ben. We understand that, but you can take the essence of that is actually a good comment. If you make yourself look confident, standing tall, striding well, it puts people off, because that confidence doesn't make you an easy target. I think that's probably the best way of saying that.
They say that when someone's going to attack someone, they, especially a woman, they calculate, and I don't know if this is true, because obviously I haven't been a person wanting to attack another human being, but if they think the woman is going to cry or put up a fight or something, they just choose another target. So I always try to look fierce.
Bulk yourself up. Are you coming?
It's like, come here, I'm going to give it to you. No. But, I mean, I think there's probably something to that. So.
Heather's a big fan of the Aftershocks. Yep, so am I. Yep. She says, thank you for putting the link in. I will do that, no problems at all. Ben is now saying Heather for president. This is good.
We need a female president, Heather. So it
will happen. It will happen. Though some people do say in the States that they have already had a female president. It was Hillary back when Bill had the title, but she was the one in charge anyway. Yeah. Something like that. Okay, as I say, we are running out of time because you've got to be somewhere else. And I do thank you for your time here tonight, Suzie. And I think we'll get back together and continue this conversation at another point.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. So has anybody got any questions for Suzie just before we have to wrap this up tonight? While you're typing out the questions, I'll just remind you, please, if you could like this video, share it with your friends. If you could give my channel a subscribe, and if you can go and subscribe to Suzie's channel as well, that would be absolutely fantastic.
I run things I like here.
Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to point at the right.
So yeah, has anybody got any questions for Suzie before we finish tonight? What's the weather like in there? I'm English, so I've got to ask. What's the weather like where you are at the moment?
Oh, today's super cold. Like last week was like so nice, but this week is cold. Like I'm 1-2 degrees Celsius, so it's very cold. Yeah. So
when did you move to the States? You say you're from Spain. So.
Oh, I moved here. It's all my husband's fault. He's an American, born, raised 3 generations back. So I moved here when I was 34 to marry him, to be with him. Oh, so yeah. So I've been here 13 years. It's going to be 14 at the end of the year. So
fantastic. So Kim says, thanks to both of us for tonight. No, thank you, Kim, for turning up. The only person in Denmark who joins us on these ones. I don't think anybody else runs in Denmark apart from Kim.
I'm sure there's other people.
There must be. Kim, will you please tell them to join in on these conversations we have on all these channels? That would be brilliant. Heather says, thanks for the stream. This was fun. Well, that's what we try to do. Be a little bit entertaining and just have a bit of a laugh and a joke, and come out with the occasional pearls of wisdom. Tim, thank you very much indeed. He's just joined us at the end. Interesting video about alpha flies from Tim today, or was it yesterday?
There's
so many videos coming out now.
Yeah, he puts out great content.
This running YouTube community is growing all the time, which is fantastic. I like Tim's videos when he gets into the spreadsheet. He gets the spreadsheet out and he just totally loses. Brilliant, love it.
I know. Yeah.
But Tim, thank you very much indeed for coming tonight. I appreciate you turning up, mate. Oh, Ben says, great chat, guys. Good to see both of you. Stay safe out there. So, yeah, stay safe to everybody.
You too, Ben.
There is not any Danish running YouTubers that I know of.
You should start your own channel, Kim.
Yeah, cracking idea. Both me and Susie will pop along. We'll come and say hello. So, yeah, as I say, what time are we on now?
We're at 3:50 here. Yeah.
You've got to go off and do your hair and put your makeup on, have you, for the important meeting?
Yeah, I actually have a work call. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough these days.
Yeah. So Andy says thanks to both of us, which is great. Thank you, Andy. I need to comment on your railway line glimpses too. It's only one railway line, and it was got rid of during the Beeching report back in the 1960s. So yeah, another story. Another story for another video, Tim. We'll do that. There you go.
Oh, you're so sweet, Ben. I actually have makeup. I don't actually, but
oh, look at this. The love for you, Susie, tonight is amazing.
Oh my God. Oh, I love you, Heather. She's my YouTube wife.
Fantastic. What we're going to have to do one night is get everybody on one call and just have everyone's pictures up there. We'll just really go.
We should, like, with a lot of screens. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, Susie, thank you immensely for joining me tonight. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for giving us a glimpse into your running life. Wish you all the Boston best, as they say, for that qualifying time. And I hope to see you on the start line there in a couple of years' time. So, yes, Susie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony.
No, you wanted to say something. Go for it.
Too. No, I'm just saying, good luck to you with Boston as well. And I hope we can, if we qualify on the same year, we can actually, have dinner.
Yeah. Hold on, I'll write that one down. Yeah, no problems at all. I'll put that one in my diary.
Beer, a Guinness or something. A stout.
Guinness?
Chris would say that's stout.
Right, no problems at all. Susie, thank you very much indeed. See you again soon.
Thank you. Thanks, Tony. Bye-bye.